This is going to be an incredibly important week for the markets as well as Tesla stock, and I want to make sure that you guys are caught up to speed on everything that happened over this weekend, all of the breaking news, as well as what to expect in this upcoming week. Let's go ahead and start off this video with what we are drinking today, and it is, oh, shouldn't have done that. I was trying to flip it. Some water from McDonald's, high quality H2O. You know, you got to get it from Mickey D's. But let's really start off this video with a high quality quote from Elon Musk. Although there are some bad things in the world, remember that there are many good things too. A good thing I can think of right now is the fact that Tesla stock is falling and you could buy the dip a lot cheaper than you could over the past month or two. Again, a lot of us would have done things we're not proud of to buy Tesla stock at the prices that the stock is sitting at today before Tesla's last earnings, when nothing has materially changed all too much. And the Cybertruck looks like it's about to start deliveries pretty soon. Now, soon to me means the next couple of weeks, but we're actually getting some production videos being recorded. The Cybertruck was seen at a glacier in apparently Mexico. I didn't know Mexico had glaciers, but I guess they do. Being followed around by this other Jeep, or preceding this Jeep, with some camera equipment, presumably taking a production film. Hopefully, this is a good sign that we're close to ultimately deliveries. Not just that, but the Cybertruck has been spotted in Iceland with clearly a production crew that is filming the Cybertruck. I can't wait to see these videos. In other Tesla stock news, Sawyer Merritt says if his math is right, Tesla will deliver its 5 millionth vehicle in 4 to 6 weeks, just 6 months after it delivered its 4 millionth vehicle. And we have a brand new picture of thousands of Teslas, it looks like, outside of Giga Shanghai, based on the air quality. I can't really confirm where this picture is being taken, but I would assume it is Giga Shanghai. 2 Tesla employees are accused of mishandling employee data, accidentally leaking over 75,000 individuals' information to a foreign media outlet. How does that even happen, though? How do you leak 7,500 individuals' information to a foreign media outlet? I don't understand how that happened. But a foreign media outlet named Handelsblad informed Tesla on May 10, 2023 that it had obtained Tesla confidential information. The investigation revealed that 2 former Tesla employees misappropriated the information in violation of Tesla's security and data protection policies and shared it with the media outlet, Tesla wrote in its initial report of the incident. It continued, the outlet has stated that it does not intend to publish the personal information and in any event is legally prohibited from using it inappropriately. Quote, Tesla immediately took steps to contain the incident, understand the scope, and protect your information. Among other things, we identified and filed lawsuits against the 2 former employees, Tesla said in the notice. These lawsuits resulted in the seizure of the former employees' electronic devices that were believed to have contained the Tesla information. Social security numbers, as well as names and other personal identifying information, were compromised in the security breach. So, pretty important stuff. According to Roland Percher over on Twitter, he says the Tesla Model Y was by far the world's best-selling EV in the first half of the year. No surprise, since it's also the best-selling car overall so far. The Model 3 comes in second, and you can just see the slice of the EV pie that Tesla has is kind of insane. Somewhere close to 60%. That's a huge market share. He also goes on to say that looking at the starting price, we can see that both Tesla models are also the most expensive of all models. This makes the number of units sold even more impressive. And this is the next picture. And by far the Model Y is, more expensive than these other high-selling models. But even the Model 3 is higher than anything else. Even the BYD Song, which is the fifth most popular EV. We also have a new Tesla website to track the inventory numbers. Now, I don't suggest that you guys use this as part of your bull thesis by any means necessary. This should be taken with a grain of salt, just like any other inventory tracker should be. But basically what I look at this for is to say, hey, where are things at? Because you want to see inventory as low as possible. That means Tesla is just selling the vehicles that they are producing. The inventory backup is one of the things that the bears like to point out, that Tesla has about 19 days worth of inventory. Well, other automakers like GM or Ford or anyone else has 60 to 100 days of inventory. Honda is your second lowest producer as far as days of inventory, and they still have about 23 days worth of inventory. So Tesla's doing very well, but what we can see from this chart is you're starting to see a little bit of a downtick in inventory. That's good, but you have just overall trended up since the beginning of July. And some of this could be due to the restarting of factories, right? After a lot of them were shut down, that could be tweaking some of the numbers that we are seeing. Tesla has now added Stormwatch as a feature to the Tesla Powerwall. Now, Stormwatch allows you to maximize savings by keeping a low backup reserve percentage in self-powered or time-based control mode, while still having peace of mind that Powerwall will automatically react to protect you during a severe weather event. When Stormwatch is enabled, Powerwall will automatically activate Stormwatch mode when your local weather service sends a severe weather alert. This mode charges Powerwall to maximum capacity to automatically maximize your protection from grid outages. So when you get these warnings, a hurricane, watcher warning, tropical storm, watcher warning, red flag, I honestly don't know what that means. Let me know down below in the comment section, what does a red flag warning mean? Thunderstorm or severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning, winter storm warning, blizzard warning, high wind warning, ice storm warning, snow squall warning, wind chill warning, flood warning, flash flood warning, coastal flood warning, and lakeshore flood warning. Well, once these are actually sent out by your local weather service, the Tesla Powerwall will rapidly charge itself and hold that charge. So in the event you do lose power, you're going to be at maximum capacity with your Powerwall. You're going to be ready to go. Instead of being at, 30, 40, 50% charge, you're going to be in the best possible scenario based on the bad weather that you are currently experiencing. Polmar's Catalog wrote on Twitter today, says, it's incredible how Tesla full self-driving beta 11.4.6 will sometimes just complete a drive 100% perfectly now. No false slowdowns, nothing. This beta version is obviously by far the best. They just keep getting better and better. But Elon Musk said last week that he's going to be live streaming the V12 version of FSD, and that is your fully autonomous level 4 FSD. That would be like a robotaxi version of FSD, or at least the first form. Level 5 is where you won't even need a steering wheel or gas pedals or anything like that. But level 4 is fully autonomous. Elon said he's going to live stream that this week. So if that's really going to happen, well, that's going to be pretty dang awesome, and we will bring you that coverage. There's obviously no set time or no set date yet, so we'll have to exactly see if Elon follows up with more clarity on this. But as I've said before, the competition is really heating up, at least with Waymo. Cruise, I'm not so sure. They're doing some wonky things out there, those Cruise vehicles. But nonetheless, competition is great. It's forcing Tesla to speed up innovation of full self-driving and to really get to level 4 autonomy as fast as possible. And when Tesla does, you haven't seen anything yet. With as far as Tesla's stock price, that would be huge, and Tesla stock would rocket. Let's just call it that. You probably should see a short squeeze. You probably see some very exciting things. But not even just that, the robotaxi deployment for Tesla could happen almost instantaneously upon approval from the government and upon the testing that gets done. After that, you're sweet sailing. And indeed, keying a Tesla has to be one of the stupidest things a human can do. According to Tesla Economics, this video was posted from Naomi Ellie. Hopefully you guys catch this guy or you know who he is. Just, like, why? Because you're mad EVs are taking over? He kind of looks like Sam Bankman-Fried, to be quite honest with you. Let me find out it's Sam. Let's now break down some of the biggest events and catalysts that you need to know for this week as an investor in Tesla stock. We've talked about this one quite a few times, and I'm going to say it again because it's that important. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is Wednesday and after hours. NVIDIA reported earnings back in May. And what happened to the markets during May, June, a good part of July? Well, stocks basically went up to the right in almost a vertical line. Well, NVIDIA earnings really caused that. Everyone started getting hyped up on AI and the potential that AI could add 3% to GDP a year over the next couple of years. It could, boost revenue, boost profits for all these companies, really companies that had very little to do with AI in the first place. Well, Tesla was a big beneficiary to that. A lot of companies were. The markets were themselves. If NVIDIA comes through and gives us good earnings, meaning good revenue, good EPS, good margins, that's not enough. Let me be honest with you. That's not enough. You need a big guidance raise from NVIDIA. If NVIDIA just does not raise guidance again, or raises guidance a little bit, and still does very well, I would expect a slight fall, even if they raise guidance, even if there's nothing to complain about, because expectations are so high. Now, if NVIDIA misses, then you're in for a big problem. I don't expect that will happen, but if it did, probably a 5% chance or less that happens, then stocks would crash. Now, either way, I think stocks are not going to be happy about NVIDIA earnings. But we do have Monday and Tuesday and the trading day of Wednesday before we get NVIDIA earnings Wednesday and after hours. So I do think that sets us up for a bounce in Tesla stock and the broader markets over the next coming trading days. You can kind of see this reflective on the move that we seen Friday and after hours. Tesla stock was up $3.31, up 1.5% in Friday's after hours trading. And this is probably because the RSI is now oversold. The RSI is at 27.40. Tesla has been going down in a straight line just as aggressively as it went up back here in June, the beginning of June, heading into Tesla's earnings. So you're now at a level that is right about here, at about that 220 support. You're a little bit off of that right now, but you really want to watch 220. If you break above 220, that's great. The stock could rally to 230 in my personal opinion. If you fall from here, that's not so good. But when the RSI is oversold, it usually sends your trading algorithms into a buying mode, because anytime you've been overbought on the RSI or oversold on the RSI has been a great opportunity to buy Tesla stock. And it's usually very indicative of a bottom of any sell-off that you are currently experiencing. So I do think you need a reset on the RSI. The RSI is going to come up a little bit. Heading into NVIDIA earnings, that's going to be the big catalyst of this week. And that's the catalyst that could send Tesla stock down to 200, potentially send the markets down, which could send Tesla stock down even more. I think around 180, again, is that sell your kidney kind of moment to buy as many shares of Tesla as you possibly can. You would not want to miss that opportunity, especially if we get that opportunity before the Cybertruck starts deliveries. After the Cybertruck starts deliveries, which is only in just a couple of weeks here, if all things go as planned, well, it's probably not too much dip left after that moment. As far as the economic data, we're really not going to have anything for Monday. You got a 3-month and a 6-month bond auction coming in at 11:30 in the morning. On Tuesday, you're going to get existing home sales coming out at 10 o'clock in the morning. Redbook year over year coming in at 8:55 a.m. Fed Barkin that comes in at 7:30 a.m. This is all Eastern Standard Time. New York Fed Treasury purchases 2.25 to 4.5 years. That comes out at 10:30 in the morning. Fed Bowman at 2:30 p.m. as well as Fed Goolsbee at 2:30 p.m. as well. Now, these Fed speakers are going to try to condition the markets for what we hear from Fed Jerome Powell. So if these Fed speakers are more on the dovish side, that's probably a pretty good sign that Fed Jerome Powell's speech on Friday is going to as well be dovish. If they come out more on the hawkish side and they say, yeah, we might have to raise rates a couple more times. If housing or services X housing, your super core, does not continue to fall, well, you're going to have a pretty good implication of what Powell's going to say based off of these Fed speakers on Tuesday. They communicate. All they're trying to do is communicate a message to the market. So you want to be listening to that said message. Now, on Wednesday, you're going to get new home sales for the month of July, which you're expecting around 700,000. You're going to get S&P Global Composite for the PMI for August. That's expected at 52. Anything above 50 is considered positive. Anything under 50 is considered negative. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI is expected to be in contractionary territory at 49.4. You don't want to see this go low, but you also don't want to see it go super high as well. You kind of want to see it come in line with expectations. Around 50 is a pretty good number. Neither expansionary, neither contractionary. That's kind of the best case scenario outcome for that one. Now, on Thursday, you're going to get durable goods orders month over month for the month of July. It's expected to fall off of a cliff at negative 3.8%. You want to see something that is closer to positive, but you don't want to see what we seen last month at 4.7% month over month. You don't want to see that strong of durable goods orders, but you, again, don't want to see negative numbers either. So the higher the better is what I'm going to say about that. Now, you're also going to get durable goods orders X transportation month over month. You're expecting that to come in at positive 0.2%, so that is a little bit better. And then initial jobless claims also at 8:30 in the morning as well. And then you're going to get a lot of secondary data just that goes hand in hand with durable goods orders as well, like Chicago Fed National Activity Index for the month of July, as well as non-defense good orders excluding air. That will also be coming out. A lot of bond auctions Thursday around lunchtime, so watch for volatility around that time frame. And I highly recommend you guys have this up on your computers or even on your phones. It works really good on your phone too. If you see the market start to move big for whatever reason, you can go ahead and look at the calendar and see if there is a new bond auction that came out or some reason why that price action is taking place. Now, you're going to get the final numbers for the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey for August. That comes out at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday as well. But the second biggest catalyst of this week, followed right behind NVIDIA earnings, is Fed Jerome Powell's speech at 10:05 a.m. Now, I talked about this in the prior videos. I think the markets are conditioned for what Fed Jerome Powell is going to say a little bit more after the last Fed meetings we got on Wednesday of last week, and what we're going to hear from Fed speakers on Tuesday. I don't think this is going to be one of those blindsiding kind of moments where the markets think that the Fed is done and the Fed says, no, we're going to keep raising rates like every meeting. No, they're going to say they're data dependent. They're going to say the same things that they have been saying. Just, you never know how the markets are going to take these things. That's why this could be another big catalyst for this week. Last week for Tesla stock, you've seen 5,335 orders from hedge funds and institutions worth $7.36 billion with a positive order value of 44%. So slightly on the negative side, but in the grand scope of things, it could be a lot worse considering the fall that we have seen recently for Tesla stock. The dollar amount that's currently sold short in Tesla stock is $17.01 billion. This is still up from $13.87 billion 3 months ago, still up about 22.5%. So even though Tesla stock has fallen quite a bit recently, short sellers are still not in the best situation, as a lot of them took on their shorts in that 130 to 150 price range. So it's just not a good outcome for them, and I think that does or will help stabilize Tesla. Now, the caveat here is if we get a price cut for the US or for Europe, and not just the higher end models in China, that's where you could see some really big downside. That's where I could see Tesla stock falling to that 180 or even 160, would be based on a broader kind of price cut. I don't think that is coming. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Elon wants to push Tesla stock down that low at a time where the stock is already falling. But that is something to keep your eyes on. Last time around, when we got the price cuts for the US, for Europe, for China, China was the first, as well as Europe, pretty closely around the same time. And then about a week later, we had the price cuts for the US. So that would be kind of the worst case scenario. Or if Tesla does start cutting prices on some of their lower end models. Again, I don't think that's going to happen. But if the markets fall, Tesla's going to fall. And the Tesla's going to fall more than the markets. We've seen that happen recently. If you get really bad news as well, like another price cut, Tesla could fall a lot more than the broader market. So let me recap what we have for this week. NVIDIA earnings. That's going to be the most important catalyst. NVIDIA earnings, I don't expect great things. Again, I think there's an 85% chance the stock falls 5 to 7% on good earnings and flat guidance or a slight guidance raise. I think the markets want to see a huge guidance raise again based off of what we've actually seen with NVIDIA stock performance. I would be very surprised if NVIDIA just gives us average, like beats earnings, does fine, raises guidance a little bit, and the stock goes up further from here. That doesn't make a lot of sense. In 2023, if you beat earnings, if you do well, stocks have tended to fall. The worse you do on earnings, well, stocks have tended to react okay. So we'll see. But NVIDIA would have a big effect on the broader markets because NVIDIA caused this rally with AI and the AI hopium that has been going around. If that just does not materialize from NVIDIA earnings, there's going to be a lot more downside for the markets. As you can see, the markets have started falling, but you're still up quite a bit from where we have been in the last 18 months or so. During this whole period, you were lower, right, on the S&P and the Nasdaq, and really earnings themselves have not been great. A lot of companies are down year over year. Apple, right, AMD is down 8%. Not great things. So Thursday, Friday, after NVIDIA's earnings, could get quite ugly, could be quite concerning, especially if NVIDIA does not have rock solid, stellar earnings. We also then have Fed Jerome Powell on Friday, and if Fed Jerome Powell does happen to say something that the markets do not like or catches markets off guard, that's going to be a big problem as well. But I don't think this is going to be the biggest event. I full well think NVIDIA earnings are going to be the cream of the crop as far as potential bearish catalyst for this week. Now, my expectation, Tesla stock is probably going to bounce here based on what we're seeing with the RSI and the price action we've seen Friday and after hours, up to about that 220. If you break above that 220, that 100-day moving average, you likely go to about 230. And that would be a good chance, in my personal opinion, to go out and get yourself some downside hedges, because after NVIDIA earnings, I think we're going to get some downside. And that could mean back to about 215, where we are right now. If the markets take NVIDIA earnings and really sell off, then it could obviously get more aggressive than that. If you guys would like to come hedge your portfolios, come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. Some members have been making a lot of money over there hedging out their Tesla positions. They hedge out in the markets, they make thousands of dollars, they take that money back into Tesla stock and buy more shares. That's the logic of hedging your portfolio, to be able to protect it during downside and leverage that, obviously, because if stocks fall and you're hedged, you're going to be making money. If stocks start to recover, you sell out those hedges, you move that money into long positions. Obviously, results are not guaranteed, but if you'd like to come trade with us, again, link down below in the description of this video. I think that just about does it. That is all of the news-worthy news that you need to know, as well as what I expect for this week. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you learned something, or at the very least, you want to stay up to date with everything happening every single day with Tesla stock. Well, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Tyler. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.